into much better minds. Founder of the Forward Party, Mr. Math himself, Andrew Yang, and former financial journalist. Well, no, she's still a financial journalist. She's a businesswoman. She's amazing. She's my friend, Alexis Glick. Ali, it's great to have you. I'll call this segment Yin and Yang because you guys are coming at this from a little bit different perspectives on how worried we should be. So the Canadian situation, Alexis, is they have started sending us less because of the tariff situation, sending other countries more. We're hearing about allies meeting with each other and with China about different trade deals exclusive of the United States. At what level does this become a worry that the world will organize against us?
Frankly, Chris, right now it's to be expected, given all the rhetoric, both the rhetoric out of the White House and obviously where we stand in tariff negotiations. The biggest issue that we have right now is we're trying to do everything everywhere all at once. It's not that if you were to sit down, frankly, if you were to poll most leaders across the country in corporate America or otherwise, that we don't think some of our trade deals need work. The fact, though, is we're trying to do it all at the same time, and it's creating an enormous amount of uncertainty, which is truly creating in business what I would consider analysis paralysis. How do you know what to expect in a quarter's time? The most shocking thing that we have witnessed is the degree to which corporate America has suspended guidance on the back half of the year in terms of what their expectations are around earnings. The only time that we've seen this in my lifetime, frankly, was truly in COVID. You saw some of it in the financial crisis in 07, 08. But this is so unique to see economists pull back their estimates in rapid fire based on the situation with trade. And then companies just say, unless we have certainty and clarity, we have an inability to really operate and know where we're going.
Right, but we know why that is. They did what you did. And they picked up the phone and they got within 2 or 3 calls to people close to Trump, and they were told what they didn't want to hear. They didn't want to believe was true, which is there is no plan. I cannot tell you what's going to happen next. It's day by day. And big pockets don't like to hear that. My concern, though, Andrew, is the small pockets, the real engines of the American economy, the small businesses that can't just sit on the sidelines and be like, how are we going to invest our billions? You know, there are small businesses getting crushed by this because they're so dependent on China and other supply lines, and they can't get their goods. And the president is responsible for that, and he's killing the engine of America.
Yeah, Chris, I know tons of small business owners who voted for Trump who are firing people, who are scaling back, who are furious. I mean, I think one of them said it was liberation from my money day because all of a sudden he's having to put out fires. I'll tell you which way the corporate guidance is going. It's all heading south. I talked to CEOs who say that, look, it would take me 2 to 3 years to try and reshore manufacturing, and they can't give me confidence in what's going to happen 2 to 3 weeks from now. So instead of investing more domestically, people are disinvesting. There are companies that are literally relocating out of the United States. A lot of companies gathered orders up and tried to stock up on inventory, which is going to mean that the economic activity in the third quarter is going to look terrible by comparison. You're going to see a recession in the real economy hit about 4 weeks from now when shelves start emptying out and consumers go to stores and have less to buy.
Now, Alexis, help me understand this. I don't want to sound like a communist, okay? I have a 2-part question. Without me being accused of being a communist, okay, I love the idea that the president is playing with of rebalancing the benefits and burdens of who gets access to the American domestic market and what corporations have to give to get it and what form that takes. I like that. That's Trump's idea. We can argue about how he's executing the idea, but I like the idea, and he's not a communist. And the second part is, Andrew is right unless China folds first because they're feeling pain also. So what do you make of the target of wanting to kind of rebalance the equities? And 2, the specter that China may feel the pain just as much and want a deal. It's not just us.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, in corporate America, what we often call this is a kitchen sink. It's like you throw everything out in the first and second quarter. He's 100+ days in, and he's kitchen sinking the quarter. Now, we all agree he's trying to do far too much too quickly. However, these trade deals go back post-World War II. So, yes, do we need to renegotiate our trade deals? We absolutely do. And most leaders agree with that. The thing here is, if he gets a deal done with India and China, if you think about the Quad group, that's India, China, Australia, and the United States. It's really about protection of the pan-Indian Ocean, that whole area, right? It's both a safety play and it's an economic play. If they're able to negotiate those two deals, I actually think the market will respond very, very well. And you're already starting to see the strain in China. So I think what I would say to you, Chris, is I'm not nearly as pessimistic that this is a catastrophic event. I think we're already in a recession. A recession is defined as 2 consecutive quarters of contraction. You never know you're in it when you're actually, in fact, living through it. I am concerned about small businesses, but I do think that in this next quarter, they're going to recognize we have to solve the problem, because the economic data right now is not showing the degree of strain. But as Andrew mentions, in 4 weeks' time, you're going to start to see it come to light. I think you're going to start to see some deals announced, and I think you are going to see China cave on some of this.
Andrew, I call that the spring swimsuit phenomenon. I did not know how much weight I had put on until I tried to put on a pair of shorts when the weather changed. And it turns out that I had been fat for quite a while and wasn't understanding the problem. But now I do, painfully so. Is that going to be the same thing? Is that a month from now, things are going to start to hit, and they will be a function of what's happened the last 3 weeks, but there'll be a different state of play then, but that's when the pain comes home to roost.
There is a lag time on the data for sure, but the fact is a lot of these decisions can't quickly be undone. You can't necessarily bring all the workers back, bring all the suppliers back. This pain is going to ripple through the economy. This is the first recession that you can pin on the decisions of one person, and that's President Trump.
Andrew Yang, I appreciate you. I don't like getting ahead of it. Alexis, thank you for coming on. I know you've been very busy. I've been watching you everywhere. Thank you for giving us time at NewsNation. I couldn't ask for anybody better than you two.
Amazing to see you.
We'll keep talking about it. We'll keep talking about it, and we'll see what happens next. I don't want to get ahead out of it, because we should all want this to succeed. What bothers me is people not wanting this to go well in terms of the deals. I want us to get better deals. I want the working class to finally get some attention.
For sure.
Right. So, you know, I want it to succeed. I take no joy
100%.
at any of this. So let's see what happens, and you guys can explain it to me. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.